Hi, my name is Jacob. I work at the Chuck's Produce Milk Lane, and this is how you make an omelet. So, with every omelet, you can decide whatever fixings you want to put in it. All that matters is that you don't put too much. For me, I prefer to have mushrooms, spinach, onions, and red bell pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and dice them up really fine so that they can fit inside. You know, a lot of people don't know how to dice an onion, so I'm going to show you how to dice an onion. So, take this little frilly part, you want to chop that off first. Like that. So you got this part, toss it away. Next you have this flat surface to cut it in half from this root part. Save that for later. Next, you want to peel back the skin, and see what you've done by not chopping off this part is you hold it into one place. See that? Next, cut little slices. There. Next, divide this part in half. And that's one way to dice an onion. Okay. Now I'm probably not going to use all this onion. It's a lot. So the idea here is we want only about this much ingredients on the inside. Otherwise, your omelet is going to have a hard time folding, and you're going to get cracks, and it's not going to look very good. So you want maybe about half a cup of ingredients. Next, let's get our pan nice and hot. Put a little bit of oil in the pan. And then we wait for it to get hot. While this is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and crack 4 eggs. Awesome. And you can use a whisk or a fork, which is what I just happen to have on me. So I'm using a fork today. Kind of what you want to do to get it mixed up evenly is go back and forth with it. Kind of lift and then go back with it. Kind of lift and then go back. See how I'm lifting it like that? That way it's going to get stirred up and you're going to separate. That way you can combine the white and the yolk to get it one continuous color and texture. Really get it stirred up. Okay, so now that our pan's hot, you can kind of tell by the bubbles appearing on there. Now you can add your vegetables. And you want to hear that sizzle as soon as you put it in the pan. Next, Follow it with your seasonings. Right here I just have 1 part pepper, 1 part salt. Sprinkle it in there. The idea of putting the salt in with the vegetables this early on is to dry out the vegetables that you have in there. That way the flavor is more intense. Cook it here for a little bit. I'm going to turn down the heat. So, for our spinach, you'll notice that I haven't added it yet. That's because it is the most likely to burn. So I'm going to take more than you would think because it shrinks a lot as you cook it. I'm not just going to put it straight in. I'm going to do some rough chops. This is because spinach has a tendency to have stems that kind of stick out to the side. So when we chop it up like this, it breaks it up a lot better. You don't have to chop it all that crazy. Just rough chops. They're broken down. So what we're looking for in the vegetables is we want to see the onions to get a little bit transparent. It's looking like we're getting there. So I'm going to go ahead and add my spinach. Your spinach, it looks like that there's a lot in the pan right now, right? But that'll shrink a lot. You'll notice as it starts cooking. See, look at that. It looked like so much vegetables afterwards, but look at that. It's shrinking down so much. All right. So now that your vegetables are cooked all the way, you want to kind of push them more towards the center. Like this. Now you want to dump in your egg. So we're going to let this cook for a little bit. So before we start doing the omelet magic, we want to make sure that the sides are cooked through pretty well. So it's not quite there yet, so I'm going to wait another minute. So an important tip to make sure it doesn't burn, just turn down the heat. Very simple. But it's very important because egg burns very easily. All right, so look at that. So as I shake the pan, at this point, you'll notice bubbles are surfacing inside. And when I'm moving the pan, it moves in one big piece. So now, it's time to add layers. And how we do that is we get our rubber spatula, go under, right here, we lift, we let the yolk kind of fall down here and go underneath. We're going to do that to the opposite side now. Good. Just keep doing that until none of the egg is falling to the bottom. Okay. So, now we got most of our egg cooked. We want to keep the top kind of running before we flip it. Now how to flip it, so we get it kind of to the edge of the pan. I get a little nervous because I don't like dropping these. So we get it kind of hanging over the edge of the pan. You just gotta be brave. Start to flip. All right. Kind of press it down a little bit. Turn off the heat. And Another interesting tip is you can let it cook a little more without the heat on. The heat of the pan itself will continue to cook your omelet. So we're going to flip it one more time so we can put our cheese on the inside. Okay. Perfect. You can add whatever cheese you want. I just like cheddar, so we're going to put cheddar up there. All right. And that is how you make an omelet. Thank you very much for watching. It was a lot of fun to make food for you, and hope to see you around next time. Have a good day.